821 on Maryland's Morning News. I'm Bryan Nehman. Sequestration starts tomorrow, and just about everyone, inside and outside the Beltway, says it's going to happen. It may just be a question now of how long it lasts. There are different views of how bad the impact will be on the economy, but Argus research is out this morning saying that Maryland will probably be the hardest hit state in the nation, maybe California the other. Howard County Executive Ken Ulman joins me now on Maryland's Morning News. Mr. County Executive, good to have you back on the program.
No, thanks for having me.
The number thrown out there is 50,000 residents in Howard County work for or with the federal government. If these cuts, these furloughs especially happen, what impact is it going to have on Howard County's economy? Have you crunched the numbers?
Well, it's really hard to get the exact numbers, but we do have about 15,000 to 18,000 Howard County residents who work directly for the federal government. Many of those will start to get furloughed, so they'll get about a 20% pay cut. So those are moms and dads who are supporting families, and that's going to be tough on their families, and also the ripple effect on the economy. But then there's another 30,000 plus who work for companies, private companies, that also do work for the federal government. And many of those companies, I was at one with the governor yesterday, they're really in kind of a wait-and-see mode because they don't know how many of their contracts are going to be canceled or delayed. And so there's a lot of uncertainty, and that's one of the biggest challenges here is just the uncertainty, the unpredictability.
When do you think the first impacts will be felt? I mean, if it starts tomorrow, will we feel this, by the middle of March? Will it take even more time than that? Or would it possibly be right away?
I think it depends. Right? I think if it goes for a month, I think the effect will be minimal. If it goes the entire time through September, it will be felt dramatically. First of all, the moms and dads who, will take a pay cut or may lose their jobs will certainly feel the effect. But then there's so many things that there's a ripple effect on. So, for example, because these cuts have to take place in every single line item in every agency's budget, they affect things that make no sense. So, for example, because there's one air traffic controller at Martin State Airport, when that guy gets furloughed, that airport shuts down. And so for cargo business or people that, have a plane that goes in and out of there, the people that do the cargo there, the people that run the restaurant there, all those folks lose their jobs. So, for example, they may have to close one of the gates at Fort Meade because they have to furlough the security personnel. So then it backs traffic up way back even further onto Route 32 and things like that. So there's so many ripple effects that the public will start to feel if it goes more than a month or two.
Let me ask you this, and this may be more of a bigger picture question about government employees, but, a lot of people in the private sector, they had their pay cut by 20%, and they still showed up to work every single day. Do you think that, furloughs, hey, you're getting furloughed, but, if you are that aircraft controller, should you show up and go to work, even though you're not going to get paid that day?
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, if you're not getting paid, the way a furlough works is, you're not supposed to show up that day. You're not getting paid. I understand that concept. The biggest problem I have with these cuts is not the fact that cuts are happening. It's that the cuts are happening in a way that really make no sense. I mean, I've cut budgets. We eliminated our print shop. We eliminated our cable TV studio. We pulled back take-home cars. We've done so many things to reduce the expense of government. But you do it in a smart way. You look at all your agencies and you say, what can I reduce that has the most minimal impact on the public that we serve? And let's get rid of that. But let's not get rid of some of everything because folks in Washington can't do their job. So they took a cop-out by just saying, let's apply it to everything.
On that note, your budget will be affected by this. Tax revenue will certainly shrink. Do you have an estimate of how big of a hit it will be for you and your county budget?
We're working on that right now. Because it's the last 3 months of the fiscal year, it may be minimal. It may be, $3 to $5 million. But the problem is we just don't know yet because we don't know the full impact on the private sector companies who may have to lay off employees because their contract from NASA or their contract from NIH, for example, got reduced. So there's so much uncertainty out there that it's really hard to make predictions, and that's the tough part for people like me who have to send a budget to the county council next month. Just tell me what I'm dealing with, and I'll adjust to it. But don't leave me with this uncertainty.
Ken Ulman, Howard County Executive, thanks for your time and joining us on Maryland's Morning News, 825.